Source Forge? This has to be a boomer. Alright, so then I should be able to... Actually, let's just do auto. I think I want to do at. Actually, we can do DVC check. Alright, check that. Actually, that could be a precondition, but whatever. And then sound.play. Confirm that API. Right. Yeah, play. Okay. Oh yeah, FFmpeg. But I mean, are you really surprised that FFmpeg's website looks ugly? Alright, let's see. Make test. Alright. Oh, I need to actually do... Oh, well, actually, that's kind of good. Well, I wonder if I don't need to do this. Hold on. I think that's only because it was a constructor. I believe... I hope I can do that. Okay, yeah, let's do that. And then do the real one. What do you think of the Kent Beck, Martin Fowler, Bob Martin school of thought? Oh, the extreme programming stuff? Give me a second, we'll actually go review it. Make sure we're talking about the same thing. Did that play? Did I actually call play? Oh, I wonder if the buffer now disappeared. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. I probably have to do... Ah, it's so convoluted. Why did they design it this way? Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to heap allocate that. Hold on a sec. Yeah, it's not playing. Man, it's such a bad design. Alright, so I gotta keep the buffer around. Because what's happening is the buffer is going out of scope. Honestly, I don't know why that's just not turned into an error. Let me just try some dumb stuff. I don't load it yet. Do it here. And then... yeah, this is dumb. Alright, we're gonna have to heap allocate that. I hate that crap. Maybe we get lucky. Nah. We have to do new. Yeah, that shit ain't gonna work. Not at all. Let me just see. It did load it, but I don't think it's playing at all. Nah. Alright, we'll have to heap load it. Darn, man. It's gonna be, I think probably a unique pointer, but let's just get it working with, I believe... and then buffers is going to have to change. Then we'll have to have a deallocator that deallocates them. Or just say screw it, when the game exits it'll get... Oh! No. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I think we gotta do it this way. I don't know if it takes a pointer to this. Oh yeah, TDD, so yeah, I promised I would talk about that stuff a bit. Let me just see if this works. I doubt it. Man, they're weird. They're so weird. It's such a weird project. I don't know why you would... If I'm supposed to keep the buffer around, right? There's only kind of one way to keep a buffer around super reliably, which is a pointer. Then you make the API that uses the buffer not accept pointers. Okay. Alright, we'll have to rethink how that's being stored. The only way I've found to make their sound system reliable is to create a struct. A struct holds everything, and that's what you store. It's just super irritating. Anyway, let's take a little break and talk about Extreme Agile Manifesto. Alright, so I was around when this came out. And basically a bunch of these dudes got together and they said, this is how software should be. That's all these guys. Ron Jeffries, Bob Martin, Kent Beck, Martin Fowler. I met most of these people. Dave Thomas, Ward Cunningham. Alright, so the thing to understand about 90% of these people is they're all consultants. Every single one of them. No, like Dave Thomas was an author, right? So they're working as consulting, and they have a problem because they're mostly consulting for like governments, banks, big agencies. Because remember, back when this came out, I want to say it's like, oh my god, late 90s or early 2000s, 2001, yeah. Everything was Java. Everything was Java. Java. And it was all big banks, big governments, big agencies. That was the money. Because right before 2001, you had the 1999 or the 2000 tech crash. What's that called? .com bubble. So I lived through this, right? .com bubble hits and nobody, and I mean nobody, is funding startups. And at the time, I had just graduated college, so I wasn't able to get a job. I had to get a job at the university. The only jobs really were consulting firms and giant banks. Incidentally, a lot of people will tell you that the .com bubble collapsed because tech companies were making garbage. But if you go look at the things tech companies were trying to make, that's stuff that exists now that's worth trillions of dollars. So pets.com, that's Amazon. Craigslist, there was a bunch of things before that, right? All kinds of things that back then they said were dumb ideas, ended up being actually like billion, trillion dollar ideas. What actually caused the .com collapse was that banks were running this pump and dump scheme. And the pump and dump scheme was where they would take startups that nobody knew anything about. Nobody knew anything about startups, money, how businesses and technology companies worked. Banks would go in and they would tell their analysts. They would say, hey, we're going to bring on this new startup, give them $30 million. You're going to pump their stock. Tell everyone this is going to be the next big money maker. Their analysts would go in and they would say, hey, big money maker, buy this stock. Everyone would buy it. Then trader guy would come in. He'd say, okay, now I want you to dump that stock and we're going to buy it on the back end. We're going to short it. So the real reason that the .net collapse happened was because a bunch of bankers were running pump and dump schemes. And in fact, we threw I believe it's George Bush and his administration threw like easily 1,000 of them in jail. So Enron, WorldCom, all those guys went to jail. But the bank people were, they have a lot of money, so they're able to make it seem like it was technology's fault. And I didn't even know this until like 5 years later, I read a couple books about it. Like Smartest Guys in the Room and a few others. So that was the real reason. And the proof of that is we created the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. So the Sarbanes-Oxley Act actually forbids banks from doing this. So people who trade stocks are not allowed to people who do analysis. They're like strictly... In fact, when I worked at Bear Stearns, if someone from trading wanted to talk to an analyst, a lawyer had to be in the room. So they couldn't violate this law. All right, so that's kind of your proof. That's the situation when this gets created. Nobody's making money. Everyone believes that startups are crap. The only place you can work is doing a Java job at a bank, government, or university. And all of these guys are making money doing consulting. Problem is, every place that they're working is using what's basically kind of like a very strict waterfall method where people in the organization define everything you do and you go and you do all this, and they want to kind of like make more money, so they invent this agile manifesto, and then out of that comes extreme programming. And it was basically a giant moneymaker for people doing consulting. But more importantly, when you read this, and I'm very against anything that crafts enemies and sort of invents fake targets, fake enemies. So read through this real quick. And what you're reading is enemy crafting. We value individuals and interactions over processes and tools. I don't know. Processes and tools seem pretty reliable today. Like you look at the whole DevOps movement, that's pretty much what that is. Working software over comprehensive documentation. So again, think, you work at a giant bank, and what people want to do is document every tiny little thing and then hire some consultants to do it. Well, if you have consultants who just sit there writing unit tests all day long, you make more money. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation, right? So as you read through these, responding to change over following a plan, because what they were fighting against was people who wanted to define, like the government, everything about a piece of software, and then you made it. And if you didn't follow that, then you violated the contract, you didn't get paid. The dream setup for a consultant is that nothing is defined. You have to constantly talk to the customer. You have to only show working software, not document it. And then basically nobody can track what you do or tell you have to follow a process or use a certain tool, right? Yeah, okay. So Scrum is another example of this, right? So the entire Agile Manifesto movement that these guys created is really nothing more than a way to pad the pockets of consultants and consulting firms in an environment where there's no money except for in banks and government, and the place you work is this stuff over here. That's where you work, but you want it to be like this because you make more money. All right? So if you go and you look, take extreme programming. What's one of the things with extreme programming? Everybody must pair, right? And they use a lot of really slick tricks to make sure that you want to pair. Like, for example, if you don't want to pair, which is totally natural, I don't want to sit next to somebody all the time, they say things like, oh, you're a cowboy coder. It's like, no, I just don't want to be in a programming chain gang. So a chain gang is where like a bunch of people work on a road and they're from the prison and they put on shackles between 1 to 2 people so that way they can't both run away, right? But when you work in these organizations, they're like, oh, you must work together constantly next to each other. Well, if you're a consulting firm or a consulting shop, that's awesome because you effectively get paid double for what's effectively one person's work. And then all these consulting firms like ThoughtWorks literally did this while I was working at Bear Stearns. This was their strategy. So what they would do is they would say, hey, we got Zed Shaw. Zed Shaw is going to come and work on your Ruby project. We got Zed Shaw. He's going to come in and make your bank the best website you ever did. So the bank's like, ooh, Zed Shaw, we'll pay $400 an hour for Zed Shaw. And they say, oh, we have another person. That person's just as good as Zed Shaw. Oh, really? We're going to have them pair program. Oh, if we pair program, it's going to be like 3 Zed Shaws working on your code. Ooh, let's pay $800 an hour for that. So then I roll in. I sit there. I'm pairing with some other famous programmer working at this bank. And I pair with him for like a couple weeks. And then pretty soon, ThoughtWorks comes in. They're like, oh, we need Zed on another project. And in the contract, it said that you don't have control over who gets to work here. So, pair programming makes it so that everyone is a Zed Shaw. So it's okay. Zed will sit with some newbie who just graduated from college, and he'll train this newbie. And that newbie will be just as good as Zed Shaw. 2 newbies out of college are just as good as Zed Shaw. And so then when you're done, after about a month, there are no Zed Shaws working on your project. There's just a bunch of people straight out of college who don't know what they're doing. And you're paying $800 an hour for both of them to do the job of one person that's basically like one person straight out of college. And that's the effect of the Agile Manifesto. It was entirely a cash grab designed to work during a time when nobody was making money outside of doing anything but banking, government, giant corporations working at IBM, right? And then pretty soon over time, we started to realize that a lot of stuff that they said just, one, didn't make a lot of sense. The Agile Manifesto doesn't really make much sense. We can go look at it again. It really just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like when you look at this, I think you kind of want all that. I don't know. Why do I have to do one over the other? Individuals and interactions combined with processes and tools is pretty badass. That's kind of what everybody does now. Working software combined with comprehensive documentation is the way to go. Like that's what you want to do. Customer collaboration and negotiating your contract, right? Like, and this is something you'll find if you run into any open source project or movement where they're like, we're like this and those guys are the bad guys. There's probably the truth is that you need both, or both of them are perfectly fine. It's almost always like that. So anyways, this is Agile. This is basically what came out of all that is if you work in a Java shop, you're going to do a lot of this. And other than that, meh. Yeah, so this is the thing is keep in mind, Billy, a lot of places will still operate this way. But you know what I think actually killed this? Do you remember the healthcare.gov fiasco? Right? Where like they had something like 700 consultants and they wasted like $1 billion on the website that still couldn't run. And then they hired like 5 people from Facebook. I think they didn't even hire them. I think 5 people from Facebook said, yo, we want to make this happen. And they voluntarily recreated the whole thing using like modern software development out of Facebook. You know, Facebook knows how to make a website. We can all agree on that. And they banged it out in like a week. And I think that kind of killed this whole thing because people, and that's where you got the those new organizations within the government, the defense information group. I forget what they're called, but they do nothing but just that. They just basically go around kind of wiping out consultants. And I think that kind of killed this. It's really hard to go in to the government or banks and say, oh, you need 600 consultants, because now they can kind of say, yeah, but what about healthcare.gov? They just had like 5 people recreate that whole website. Can we just do what they did? You know? So yeah, I think that's kind of what really killed it back then. But there you go. This is the thing. Now, when it comes to testing, I tell people this. Just have tests. It doesn't matter when you write them. I'm currently kind of doing test-driven. Test-driven is really good when you kind of don't know how the API should work. So you can kind of prototype the idea, right? And you saw I was basically doing that. You're looking here, I was like kind of prototyping. I'm playing with it. I'm like, yeah, it should be like I do sounds.load and then sounds.play. Yeah. That's what it should be, right? And that's kind of what you want when you're making an API. But sometimes you have to kind of have a thing and get it working, and then you write a test that sort of like automatically checks it. So the problem I have with Agile when it comes to testing is they say you must do tests first, but that doesn't match with like people's actual experiences. You might have the idea one way, you might have the idea another way. You might have an idea and you're thinking through the test, you might be thinking through just hacking up an idea. And then basically just have tests. That's it. Just have some kind of automation, mostly for efficiency, right? And the other thing is they try to say that tests help you avoid errors. They don't. Tests help you keep stuff working as you make changes. So if you have to do a ton of refactoring, having automated testing makes it really easy to refactor your code. Because you just change what you want to change, move it around, clean it up, run your tests, and if they keep working, then you probably did okay, right? But demanding when to do it or not doesn't work. And then I think the other thing is, everyone who does test-driven development, right? They say, oh, I always write my tests first. Always. They're full of crap. They go and do one of these first. So they're like, I always start with my tests. No, I've worked with tons of these people. What they do actually is they go and they write up a little hack called a test. It's called a spike. And the spike is code. It's not a test first. They're in there hacking up a solution. Then they go write a test first, but really it's second, right? So nobody actually does test first, right? Like 100% of the time. They do a mix, right? So anyways, that's what it is. You know, if you're working at a job, they're making you to do pair programming and stuff like that, you know, just go with it. They're paying you. It's tough to find work right now. But just understand, that's not the most optimal way to make software. And it's definitely just more of like a cult and originally kind of a cash grab for consultants. That was pretty much it. Well, so the question is, if Agile is a cash grab, how come Waterfall is so bad compared to minimal requirements, specs, user stories, collaboration? Well, if you research it, Waterfall was basically a trumped up misreading of a document. So I think if you look for Waterfall, I think this was actually a pretty good blog post about it. Hey, sudo, please. So basically, there was a document, by Dr. Wilson in 1970. And I think in that document, it was misread. They were describing actually a bad way to write software. And they had this like fake little graph. And then the people from Agile kind of took it and turned that into an enemy. But I don't think anybody actually wrote software that way, right? I think that's the thing to understand. It's like nobody really wrote software like that. The government was really into it. And keep in mind also back in the 70s, kind of the only place you could find work or money in programming was the government. They were the only ones who were using computers extensively. Military, definitely. So your question is kind of like a non-question. It's like, well, if capitalism is so bad, why does everyone die under communism? Or vice versa. Well, it's sort of like inventing a fake communism, a straw man enemy, right? Nobody actually does it. And also, this is a common tactic of Agile people. They always want to set up a frame. And you listen to them talk, they're all big fans of like framing and sort of like this weird kind of mind control thing. But they want to set up a frame so that you only talk about things in terms of their position, right? So they want to have it's only Agile versus Waterfall. Nothing else exists. So they go, if you don't like Agile, you must be a bad Waterfall programmer, right? Or another one is, if you don't like pair programming, you must be a cowboy coder. And anytime someone does this kind of framing, they're trying to prevent you from seeing a third option. Well, it's not that I do Waterfall, it's just that I don't do Agile. It's not that I don't like pair programming, it's that I don't like forced pair programming, right? So really, it's more like, it's not that is Agile bad, there's a lot of things in it that are good, right? It's more like forcing people to follow this kind of magic recipe of practices that don't really seem to work is just wrong. Instead, it's like, you got to look at what works, kind of adopt the best practices you can, and then, slowly evolve things. Another thing to also throw out is, well, if it's so good, then they should be able to have statistics that show me it's good, right? And I think that's the thing you find today. You go look at modern organizations, Amazon, Facebook, Google, they measure stuff. They automate everything they possibly can. They look more at results. They're always constantly trying to be efficient. And none of them talk about Agile, right? None of them are like, we're an Agile company. They're like, we're a whatever fucking work company. That's what we're doing, right? And then just the evidence sort of bears out. Like, a lot of places that do like constant religious Agile aren't that successful. Or they're already successful and they added it later. Right? So it wouldn't really matter what they did. Yeah, some Agile, again, it's like I'm saying, I'm not saying Agile is bad. I'm saying if you know where it comes from, you know what to pick, right? Pairing up with people is fantastic when you need to. Forcing it on everyone all the time is bad. Yeah, sudo, that's possibly true. Like, it only works if all those people code that way. And this kind of gets to something that I've been sort of advocating for a while, that a big problem with software development up until pretty recently, and this is going to change dramatically, is that it was all designed around teams. Team, 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 team. Go and look at any description of software development today. Anything like open source projects get put out. This will help your team. Docker, look at like Kubernetes, look at all those things that come out in the last like 5-10 years, all the way going back. Team, 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 team. How would this work at a company? How would this work at a company? There's not a lot of talk about what works for individuals, right? What is your personal process? What is like the thing that you do that makes you successful? And I believe the nail in the coffin of Agile and what is its main flaw, and this would apply to waterfall, to like any process, is that it is taking things that are team processes and assuming that they work for individuals and then forcing it on individuals, right? So an example of this is pair programming. Well, pair programming works if the individuals in the team like pair programming. But if you don't like pair programming and that doesn't work for your personal process, well then it's wrong. Forcing you to pair with someone constantly makes you less effective. Another one is every Agile team I've worked on, they mandate the exact same IDEs, the exact same tools. So I'm in there using Eclipse with my clumsy Vim fingers, and I'm like, I can't do anything. But if you gave me Vim, I would destroy everyone because that's what my hands know how to do. Now I'm a professional, I adapt, I eventually make something like Eclipse work. But if you are hiring somebody for their skills, it makes sense. You would let them use their personal processes to do what they know how to do, right? And so that's the thing to keep in mind. I believe there's a movement in software that's going to happen very soon where it's going to shift to, it's all about you as a person. And what do you do? How do you make software? How do you like to construct it? And it's going to be very similar to, and a lot of it's because of AI, but also because a butt ton of people just got fired. And it's going to be like, kind of like a similar movement in the late 1800s, 1900s, when the camera sort of wiped out old school art. And then people are like, hey, I don't have to make crappy paintings of ugly people. I can just make whatever I want. Oh, okay, cool. I'm going to do a whole bunch of prostitutes, like Toulouse-Lautrec, right? So that's the thing. You're going to see a big change in that. AI is making it so people don't have to turn buttons cornflower blue. And they're going to be like, wait, so I can just make weird-ass games and funny software and do the hell I want? Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. I'm going to do that all day. And then at that point, who cares how you do it, right? Yeah, Uncle Bob, this is the thing is, it's like I said, all the stuff in the Agile Manifesto, the good and the bad, you need. You need all that crap, right? So yeah. So that's the thing about Agile. I just think that it really, if you work on a team that uses it, you kind of have to use it. If you work on your own, do what works for you. Understand the difference between team processes and personal process. So then as like an artist / programmer, what is your personal process? And then anyone trying to shame you for your personal process is a manipulator. They're just trying to extract more money out of you or convince you to do their stupid programming language or their movement so they can make cash. And what really matters is what works for you, like as a programmer. What is your thing? Yeah, so Eberman, it's, if you think about it, let's look it up one more time. There's nothing bad in it, right? I think the thing to hone in on, neither side is bad. You kind of want all this stuff, right? It's kind of like capitalism versus communism. They're always saying like, oh, it's wrong that people don't have free healthcare. Yeah, it is wrong. It's wrong that people have to pay for things. Well, I mean, that sort of works, but sure, you know, like you could find both sides of any of those things. So like the great things about both of them, right? The problem is in this manifesto is this one word. This is enemy crafting. This is used to get people to turn their brains off and join this side in hating this side. And you find this as a common pattern in open source movements, languages. Take the language Rust. They did a good job of this. We have memory safety over those dirty languages like C and C++, right? And then what do you see? You see Rust people are just crazy, following people around the internet, chasing them all over. But actually, you kind of need, you need memory safety. And you also kind of need a lot of the stuff that languages like C and C++ have, you know? So it's the same thing here. Look, you need both of these. It depends on what you're doing. It's more heuristic. And really the bad part is over. I don't need this over that. I kind of need processes and tools and individuals and indirections, right? So their core values are kind of a nothing burger. I don't think anybody said that we don't need this, right? And what they've done is they just crafted it into a way for you to hate this group and join their team and turn your brain off and don't think about what's happening, because once you turn your brain off, they can charge you $1,000 for two idiots out of college when you thought you were going to be hiring some dude who is like or dude or woman, I would say, who is super professional, right? And that's the real trick. Anytime you see this, somebody's making money, right? It is a manifesto. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? And so it's like, yeah, you're right. But I think this is a very, very common pattern in programming. It's been this way for 50, 60 years. I don't know what it is. It's something I've been fascinated with for a while. But just for some reason, authoritarian propaganda, that kind of like marketing, sells really well. Programmers eat that up like crazy. It's like, oh, you tell me if I join Rust or I join Haskell, I can beat up C++ people. I can beat somebody up, you know? And so they love it. Oh, they eat it up like it's candy. And I just tell folks, I had a hype train? What the hell is a hype train? I don't know jack shit about Twitch. Okay, I got a hype train. Yeah. You know, I think it's a mixture of they want easy solutions, but I think a lot of programming is sort of taught as if it's magic. And when something's magical, you look for answers in magical places or in movements or in religions, right? But if you're taught programming and you know like the base core and it's very solid and nothing's mystical and magical, then you don't fall into these traps as often. Twitch generating revenue. All right, there's a hype train, folks. I have no idea what that is. And so I think one of the big reasons why it works within programming so well, this marketing strategy of we are a community of people who have been humiliated by that enemy. Join me in defeating them. That sort of pattern. I think that works really well because programming is filled with a lot of people who sadly are kind of looking for someone to beat up. And if you promise them, hey, join my group and you'll have a job, you'll have security, we'll protect you, we'll offer you someone to beat up, well, they eat it up. They really get into it. Yeah, Eberman, I run into that a lot too. Like, so basically what you're saying is having an opinion is by nature dividing into for, against, and neutral. And I find like if I have an opinion, like remember I said, if someone's trying to frame things so there's only two options, there's always a third. I'm always the person who's like, yeah, but there's this third option. And then what I find is people on both sides of the frame hate me as a troll for pointing out that there's other options. And I think that's sort of like the sad thing about trying to be a critic within software these days is, you know, you tell people like, you know, you don't have to pair all the time, and you also don't have to not pair. You can just pair when you need to. Then they'll go, oh, you're an evil cowboy coder. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not a troll. I'm just pointing out you don't have to do it this way, right? But ultimately, it's like I said, if you're doing something that it works for you and your personal process, do it. Just keep doing it. Make it work for you. If you're doing something that somebody is telling you to do and it's really making you like suffer and bad, I mean, if it's a job, keep it as long as you can, but find a better place to go and work. You know, if someone's imposing their personal process on you and you don't see it improving how you code and it's not really a better way, then, you know, just remind yourself it's not you, it's them, right? All right, folks, let me see. I got an ad coming soon. Yeah. Oh, so great techniques that came out of Agile. Testing. Definitely automated testing was the big win out of Agile development. I think the sad thing is because they framed it as an us versus them, there's groups of people who hate testing, but automation and automated testing is so goddamn useful that, like, people who are thinking you have to write tests first, just forget that. Just forget that. Just automate. That's it. That's all you should be doing, because automated testing, the purpose of automated testing is not to make your software solid, is to keep your software solid. So that makes it easier to kind of like change things up really quickly. And I noticed within the gaming space, like, you ever notice there's like a bug in some games been there for like 20 years? It's probably because they don't really know how to automate the testing to make sure that everything they change is fixed. Or like if you see in a game, like Elden Ring was notorious for this. They would like make a change for the PvP people and then like break something else in the game. It's because they don't really do automated testing. They have no way of confirming, oh, if we change this spell, then that thing will keep working. And that's really what automated testing is for. All right, so we got to sort out this stupid crap that they're doing. Man, that blows. All right, let me see. So the issue is the way they designed this is it sounds have... I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it like a sprite, but that's not how sounds work. Sounds don't work like sprites. Alright, so let's make that. We're going to get rid of this. Alright, we're going to do that. This is actually a really good example of what I'm talking about with tests. I'm now able to kind of like revamp this whole thing and I keep running my tests until they work. So tests help you do like refactoring and checking your code and stuff. Oh, and thanks to everybody who's doing subscriptions. I'm completely clueless about Twitch, so I really appreciate it. Okay, so let me see. So we got our checks, we have the path. So what we need to do I think we have to heap allocate. What a pain in the ass. Okay. Yeah, let's change sound pair to a pointer. I'll look at using... I can't use unique pointer. Alright, so we're going to do sound pair... Alright. And then... Don't need that. Yes, so then that should... Yeah, okay, then we just need to do this. So that should create a chunk of RAM on the heap. That'll stay around forever. And then we can set the sound equal to that. And then probably right away do that. Alright, so that creates the buffer. That loads the file. That does that. Creates a sound attached to that buffer. Okay. That might not be the most elegant way to do that, but we'll... Alright, we can do the pair. Let's not use auto here. Okay. That'll give us our pair, and then we tell it to play. Okay. Let's see if I did that right. Alright, we got ads in 30 seconds, folks. I'm gonna go refresh my tea water, and we'll get sounds to play. And then the cool thing is we're gonna try to use the Dijkstra distance map to put sounds based where enemies are. So that'll be the fun part. Alright, we're back. Question was if I'm gonna get into memory allocation. Yeah, definitely I have to. Modern C++ really avoids it. I've noticed, I watch a bunch of people who do game dev live, and they avoid it like the plague. Like I was trying to here. They try to get everything basically just allocated on the heap. But in this case, I have to keep this around and put it into a map, so I'm kind of forced to do it. The thing that I should be using is, I believe, shared pointer. But I'm lazy, so I'm just going to do it this way. Alright, I am not doing enough math to do this song. Go to the next one. Okay. And we'll just give that as a constant map, so I don't think we need to clean it or anything. Alright, so now, does it play? Alright, I apologize in advance. Yeah, it's not playing for shit. What the hell, man? Why would you make a sound system that makes it so hard to just do the main thing the sound system is supposed to do? The buffer totally exists. I don't understand what their problem is. Is my test wrong? Wonderful. Let me just turn the sound off and make sure this is actually doing what I think it does. Yeah, that's dumb. Let's just try this real quick. It's not playing at all. Alright. Back to the drawing board. Is it just that this doesn't work? I'm gonna be pissed if it's this. I'm gonna be so pissed. There's a difference between a constructor that takes the buffer and setting the buffer. Somebody needs a punch in the face. What is going on? Honestly, that's how I should do that anyway. Yeah, maybe you're right. Not sure why it would do that. One thing we can try is we can try to load it. Yeah, let me confirm my audio output. 8 at 910. That should be fine. You know what? Let's try loading it into the game. So I wonder if it's you have to actually like create a window or something. You know, like you have to tell Windows this is a program that has window stuff. So it says it's loading it and doing all the stuff. So let's go through the work of just yeah, so this one should work. That loads. Okay, so let's try just refactoring the GUI. Right? And then see if it plays in a window environment, then fine. It's irritating, but then we're good. But otherwise, yeah. Alright, GUI. Let's do GUI. HPP. Alright, so now we shouldn't need that. And we shouldn't need any of those. We should just need Sound Manager. Sounds. All right. There, and then let's throw that in. Let's pick a place. Events. Yes, do here. If we go down, oh, and load needs to be okay. I think that's it. Oh yeah, and then Okay. Alright, so we should hear something when we go down. Okay, it does work. Just for some reason. Alright, so I'll have to sort out why the unit test doesn't do that. Alright, cool. That's working. It'd be nice if I could hear it in the test, so I gotta figure out what the hell the bullshit is for that. Let me look in the Mason file real quick. It might be like a setting there. But it could be like there's some SFML setup that needs to be done. No, same configuration. Yeah, there's got to be some weird SFML setup. Right? Yeah, window context, but I don't have it in the game. So there's something that SFML is missing. But we'll just go with this for now, and then I'll sort it out later. Okay, so now the next thing is... how are we gonna do... oh, let me undo... alright, so we have our sound manager. Awesome, that's what we want. Let's look for... okay, we have a hit. Let's get rid of that. Now the next thing is... we can set that as a fact, actually. Actually, we can probably take it out of the class entirely. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Yeah, we can do this. Ah. Yeah, let's do that real quick. Yeah, for audio playback, I think mocking is you just make a sound that is blank. Alright, see you later, Nish. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. And thanks for the subscribe. Yeah, you were one of the ones that did that. Yeah, I usually stay up until like 7 a.m. So, just saying, you know, sure. A real programmer, you never sleep. Drink coffee all day. Anyways, yeah, I think the way you mock out audio is you just make a wave file or sound file that's got nothing in it. It's like a blank sound. Yeah, you know what? We can nuke that. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Honestly, not even here. Here. Right, so then that should be available everywhere. Yeah, that should be fine. Oh, I disabled the copy constructor. Is that okay? I gotta think about that. Yeah, that should fail. Let's see. Can can I copy it? I think it's probably not a problem. Yeah, because it's using references for everything. The only thing you're really copying is those two. And then it'll go out of scope. Alright, we'll see what happens. Okay, so now we should be able to access sound everywhere. Should that go in configure world? We'll put it here. I think configure world is going to die soon. Okay, and then that means in the systems we can do auto reference sounds world.get. And then should be able to do that and that. And hope it doesn't crash. Oh yeah. Then the next thing is coming up with part of the API that moves the sound or positions it in a certain place when it plays it. Okay, cool. We got sound. Alright, so that means load is fine, play is good. Okay, let's look at the sound API, and I think so we can set the position. Yeah, set position. Interesting. Okay, why is this sound source? Hold up. Yeah, set position. I wonder because we have a map of all of the sounds, I wonder if the reason why they do the buffer is you're expected to create a sound like repeatedly instead of caching it. It seems kind of weird, but okay, let's try that. How are we gonna do this? Let's see. Void. What is it? They're using float. Right, we're going to get the sound pair. Alright. And I predict this will not work actually, but is there a copy constructor? Yes, interesting. I think you have to do this. Oh yeah, I looked at it. It's sort of free, so I might play with it. But I think if SFML has, you don't need a lot. We're talking like you need to be able to do this and change its volume. But I definitely want to play with like So Loud, Erlang. There was another one. I think you can try WIs. Everyman, no, it's totally fine. Yeah, I could fire up a window, no problem. I'll probably try to do that offline, you know? I think futzing around with like minor crap is sort of boring. No, so then we want to do copy.set position x, y, and I think 0. Because we want, it has a Z option. I'm not sure how it's doing that, but we just want to do this, kind of move it around. Yeah, let's do that and see how that works. It kind of sucks because the test, you know, like you mentioned, the test is just weird. Sound. I think that's what we gotta do. I think we have to make a copy of the sound and then temporarily set it somewhere. But then that means maybe we just always make copies. Well, you know, I think a lot of sounds are going to be kind of constant. So if we change its location, then we'll make a copy and play it. But hopefully that sets up SFML to just play the sound. And if it goes out of scope, it keeps playing. In theory, I hope. Okay, let's get our test to work. I mean, it barely works. Okay, so I have no idea what this coordinate system is supposed to do. I mean, and what does it mean? I think you have to set, there's an option. Let me go look real quick. Relative to the player. Relative to the listener. Make the sound's position relative to the listener or absolute. What's the default? Relative to the listener. What the hell does an absolute sound position mean? Because sound is in my ears. It's always relative to where I'm at. Let's set that to true. I'm pretty sure that has to be true for what we're trying to do. Because the player is in the center of the game world. Yeah. They're right here. Alright, we'll do that and we'll see what happens. And then, let's just do 10, 10. I'm not sure what their coordinate system even means. Because it's sound, right? Really? The shit are you talking about? It's right there. What's on sound source? Do I have to get the source first? Is this like a new thing? Weird. Alright, I guess we'll just get rid of that for now. Unit test should only assert a single thing. Eh. Do what works. The hell am I doing? Oh. See, one of the things I try to advocate is like, I don't care how you write your tests, just have them. That's it, right? Because I want people to automate more and get used to automation. And so like all these like parameters and like things you can do, I'm like, no, here's how to make your tests and how to do it, but just get them. That's it. You know, it's kind of like I'm telling people, I don't care what vegetables you eat or how you eat them, just eat some vegetables, man. That's it, just eat some vegetables. Cook them, don't cook them, I don't care. Just eat some vegetables. They're good for you. Right, so that works. No, let's look in the GUI. Okay. Let's see if we can simulate moving the sound around. No, let's do it in the system. Yeah, because like if I can do... Well, let's confirm that it still works. Hold on. Alright, let's see what we got. Yeah, still got sound. Good. Now what we want to do is... Alright, we'll just pick a random position and then fight something. Wait a second. Where was that? Hold on. Turning off the music. Oh, damn. That's the actual... Wait, why are they both going to that? I keep forgetting that. I have a way to turn off sound over there. Need to turn off over here. Let's find that other enemy. It sounds like it's behind me. Make sure I got my headphones right. Yeah, they're backwards. Yeah, it sounds behind me. Okay, so let's see if we can move it. All right, so let's do, I don't know. 10, 10? I don't even know. It's such a weird way to do... Yeah, okay, we'll try it. We'll see what that does. I think I gotta look at what their coordinate system is supposed to be. I don't know if that even moved. Let's give it something pretty extreme. Let's try 100 and 0. Yeah, it doesn't seem to work. Yeah, I got no idea what this coordinate system is. Let's try 1000. Like, what is X? Is it here? Yeah, I don't know. Because I would think an X that's positive would move it far to my right, and the camera to left, so it should go over there. Hold on. Yeah, that don't work for shit. I don't know. Okay, so it looks like SFML has an API to put things in a position, but doesn't. Let's try one more. And it's supposed to have a relative to the player. I don't know. Huh. Yeah, it's just always back there. Yeah, I don't think this does what they say it does. I might have to go look in the code. Oh, I wonder if this isn't even playing. How much do you want to bet that doesn't even play? All right, we're going to comment this out. The only thing we have is if the player attacks at 0, 0. That explains a lot. Yeah, it's not even playing. Interesting. So it needs to be relative to the player, I think, or it's a problem with, like I was thinking. Okay, so we gotta get that to play first. I think it's this. So let's just do pair sound. Yeah, we'll move it around and then, oh, I'm not even playing it. Duh. All right. There we go. Interesting. Where'd you find that doc? Is that in the SFML? Yes, that's very helpful. Thank you, Billy. I mean, if I can get it to play. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do it. So then 0, 0 should be here. Should be right in the center. Let's get rid of this, and we're going to go pair sound. Just to confirm it's not like it's going out of scope or something. I'm pretty sure that's probably what's going on. And then that means if what you found is true, that means it's a float based on a... It's not an XY coordinate? Okay. We got it playing. Yeah, so it's basically going out of scope. That's irritating. Let's see. 1. That's really weird. Is that in the docs? Where'd you see that? Set position. So it's not really an X or Y coordinate as in, it's more like a -1 to +1. A float, okay. It's probably like percentage based. So let's change these to float. Okay, so let's make it hard left. That's -1. Make sure my headphones are in, right? It's backwards. Okay, so is that hard left? I gotta close my eyes. Yeah, that seems to be left. Here. I think I killed it. Okay, so then let's do hard right. Okay, so I'm going to do my left. Yeah, I should hear nothing in the left. No, I hear there. Yeah, I think those docks aren't right. Yeah, it doesn't seem to do much. Okay, let's try that. And I'm assuming that that doc you found, Billy, that's a comment. So that's probably in the source code. I'm going to look there next. But it may not be accurate. So this should be hard right. No. I didn't do shit. All right, to the code. Uh, uh. Okay, so sound, and we're looking for set position. Oh, well, first off, yeah, I think maybe they added that relative thing. Yeah, no, I think it's probably in yeah, it's in sound source. Okay, and then go here. Yeah, it totally exists. So why am I getting told this doesn't exist? Okay. Yeah, and they're using OpenAL, so they should totally be able to do this. Okay, copying. All right, here we go. It looks like it's from OpenAL, and we just have to go figure out what that does. AL position. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I think it's kind of weird that, and turn the music back on. It's kind of odd that it's an audio coordinate system without any information on how you set the coordinates. Like if I have a drawing surface, right? I say it's this big. So I'm kind of curious why that is. Alright, so let's keep this open, and I believe... I gotta find out why. Set relative to listener. True. I'm pretty sure I have to set that. Let's just confirm that. In fact, let me just copy that just in case I'm like typing it wrong. And when it did that, it complained and said that that wasn't available. I must have spelled it wrong. Okay. So then we set it relative to the listener. And then, yeah. Let's go back into the systems. And where are you at? Okay. So we'll figure out what that does. So they're using OpenAL. So all we got to do is figure out, like, how does OpenAL determine the coordinates? Right. Yeah, it still sounds like it's back there. When it's an X coordinate, so it should be like off to one or the other side. I don't know, maybe OpenAL just sucks. I wouldn't be surprised. Alright, so let me see. And then 0 should be the flat plane where the sound person is standing, right? Let's do 1,000. 1,000. Yeah, it just seems to be really underspecified. Like, what is your range? It's a float, right? It just seems like they're trying to replicate OpenGL for like no reason. Like sound and graphics are completely different. Sound is binaural, you only have like 2 ears, you just basically rotate it around like that. So having things like buffers and frames and... yeah, it doesn't do shit. Yeah, those settings don't do anything. Right? Yeah, it's dumb. Nothing more irritating than software that does not work. I don't know, let's try this. Very sad. It has to be something that you have to configure, or I don't know the coordinate system, so we can look that up, but we're coming close on 3 hours, so I may end this session soon. Need a better map. We at least can play sound. We have a nice sound manager. We just have to sort out how do you play things at a different distance. Yeah, see? Nothing. You got me. Alright, let's try a different thing. Let's do... well, we'll leave that. Let me think. One more thing to look up. What are the coordinates that they're dealing with? Right-handed coordinate system. Your right thumb points up. What the shit are you talking about? Weird. So they do this? Well, the camera's backwards, so they do that? That's a coordinate system? This is X and that's Y? So from my perspective, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the complete opposite of what I would expect. Let's look here real quick. Let's look up AL. That's a good question. Yeah, is it like there's some default that's set so it plays in mono? Alright, so let me see. AL position can be represented with a floating point vector or 3 individual points. It kind of makes no sense. Yeah, because like, okay, it's just so weird, right? Okay, so sound is not graphics, right? Okay. So my character is here on a 2D screen that I'm looking at. So there's no concept of like 2 or 3D like this, right? So there's no way that I can tell SFML this is the coordinates, or does it think like this is the coordinates? Right? So what you run into is like, okay, so does the sound move when I do this? Because the graphics move when I do that, right? So like, if I were to continually play that, would this move the sound around? This is so bizarre. To me, you would set up the coordinate system such that it's in 3D space around you, and you would say the player is here, and therefore all the sounds are over there, or over there, in that direction from the player. I think they're trying to abstract it away so you can just, you put an OpenGL object in and then translate the coordinates to the same position. But I think SFML isn't really explaining that in the context of a 2D surface, right? Normalized device coordinates. Gotta be something like that. I set it relative to me, so in my mind, if I say you're 1,000 to the right, then it should be panned and attenuated to the right. Let's do 0. Let's make this 100. So that should be hard left, no, hard right, no, X. Should be hard one lateral direction. And then let's go into sounds. That's relative to the listener. And then let's set this to 1. And then also the other question is, yeah, is it like the device should be set to, because it's OpenAL, so there's nothing that I would do to configure it to be stereo. But I wonder if 0 is like in the dirt technically. Right, so we should hear this on one side, whether that's left or right. No, it's still back there. Yeah, it don't work for shit. It doesn't work at all. I also find it's really weird that it's been panned to the very back. It should be like left and right. You know, it's a yeah, weird. All right, so more to play with. You know, I think we've got some basic sounds going. So I think what I'll do is I'll just do this. We won't mess with that. I got to do research to figure out like what is going on there. So we're just going to change this to play like that. Grab this. All right, we at least have a sound manager going. We got sounds. It's just we have no way of putting them in different spots. But it will be easy to implement at least one thing, because you can at least change the volume. Yeah, I think that's the thing, is like you have no way of like determining where the listener is. That's why it's like relative to the listener kind of makes no sense. So how do you set in SFML the listener is at this coordinate, right? I think the other thing though that's really weird. Let me just get rid of this real quick. You would have to say SFML, the listener is at this coordinate. I want you to place the sound relative to them at this coordinate, right? And technically all sounds are relative to where, because the only listener is me, right? Yeah, see how it still puts it behind you? Weird. So, this is the thing, it's mono, right? But the sound itself, the wave file, is a mono wave file, right? But that's what you want if you want a sound that you move around. If it was stereo, it would kind of not make any sense, right? Because you would have two channels and they would be like that. What you want is a mono sound, and then you move it in position. So even though the sound file itself is mono, the system should be stereo, and when I say position it over here, it should play it over there. It should take the mono sound and move it over there. And so as far as I can tell, like obviously we're listening to music through the same channel. For some reason SFML is not respecting, or it's not using OpenAL correctly to actually create sounds in different positions. So let's load up this. Right? It's just playing it like That's it. It's just doing that. Even though I've expressly told it, move it over there. And then if you need a stereo sound to move it around, that's dumb as shit. Right? Because like normally you make a mono sound and you move it around. But I wonder if you're onto something. Oh yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. Only sounds with one channel, mono sounds, can be spatialized. I wonder if it's a stereo sound on accident. No, that's the thing. I've set the X value to be like hundreds, thousands, whatever, and it's not positioned to my either side. So X, changing the X should take it at least behind me. If it's behind me, it should move it left and right. It doesn't do anything. So I wonder if the issue is that it's not a mono sound. I wonder if that's what's going on. If that's the case, then okay. Here. Actually, we can check that. And we can fix it. Are you mono or stereo? Where are you? The hell? Nah, it's not that short. There it is. All right, place your bets. It's a stereo sound. God damn it. That's why it can't be positioned. Your instincts were correct, Eberman. Just kind of like correct, but in the opposite direction. Okay, so we just have to mono this shit. Oh, that's so irritating. Right, yeah. I'm thinking, it's a mono sound. What are you talking about? It's a mono sound. You can only move a mono sound. What are you talking about? No, it's a stereo fucking sound. But then why is it playing it wrong? Right? A stereo sound should be done like this, and it's positioning it behind my head. Okay. We can totally render this mono. Let me see what we got. Explode, item processing, explode multi-channel. Okay, let's mute the music for a second. Okay. We can mute that. And let's get this. And then I don't have my device, which is kind of irritating. Yep. Okay, there's that one. I think it kind of doesn't matter. Yeah, they're like the same. In theory, I could probably render them both into a single channel. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to render it into... let's just call it hit again. I don't need stereo. I can't even use that anyway. Okay, we're going to render it as a wave file. That's fine. Let's do 44.1 mono. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just make it a little bit easier. Oh, all right, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. Mono channel, full speed, rate brain. Yep. Okay. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Why is it trying to render? Oh my God. Oh, just stop. Stop. Mono. Master mix. Time selection. Render. Overwrite. Okay. No. We're going to move documents, Reaper, hit to assets. Microsoft. Not recursive. What am I typing? Is it getting towards the end of the stream, folks? I can't even talk right. There we go. All right, so let's just do real quick, confirm that it plays. Okay, that's what we want. Awesome. It should be mono. All right, let's set this back to 0. Come back here. Make sure that's like that. Play at. So let's just do 100 in one direction. Oh, do you think that's what it was, everyone? Like the cursor was way over there? Yeah, probably. I think my default project probably does that. So then it was trying to render all the way out there. All right, let's see if we have success. I have my broken map generation. Kinda. I kind of hear it. Okay. All right. I think we have some success. 100 is too much. Let's try 10. I don't even know what these coordinates are, right? It's just kind of weird. And we'll do relative to the user as well. Hey, we have success. I couldn't have done it without y'all. Yeah, there we go. Let me see. Hey, Prime Yoda. Oh, learning C. All right, Prime Yoda. If you want to be the best programmer, that's a great goal, but you have to take your time, and it takes a lot of work. All right? So don't set yourself some insane goal like, I'm going to be the best programmer in 6 months, right? Enjoy the process right now of learning how to code and build yourself up slowly, okay? And then I would say your best bet, learn to code C, start making a lot of stuff, but in the C course, I covered data structures and algorithms. Being able to implement algorithms is probably one of the better things to learn, and also learn how to make a programming language. You should set that for a very, very far goal. If you learn how to make a programming language, You can pretty much learn any language in almost any topic. Programming languages are great. They have a lot of good stuff in them. Like you learn study algorithms, how languages works, to everything. Assembly language, like so many things. And I would say that's probably the one thing, like everyone who's like a super good programmer, they're good at algorithms and they know how to make a programming language. It's not the only way, but that's one of the best ways. If you're looking for project ideas, here, I did this blog post. It tells you all this stuff. Pick one of those. Doesn't matter which one, just pick one of those and try to push it as far as you can. But wait until you're done, like you go through the C course, right? Right? Go through the C course and get we call it your chops. Your chops. It's like people who play guitar really well, right? Or do things really well. They built their skill up so they don't have to think about the basics. So build your chops, get your basics going. Pick one of those projects and like just push it. Then pick another. I'm a big fan of programming language or the thing I'm doing right now, making a little roguelike game. Both of those projects have a lot of complexity, but they're really easy to approach. Yeah, I'm going to be adding to that list, Billy, as soon as there's a couple other things I want to work on. I got a box of sensors, actually. I found this in my garage. It's like all these Arduino sensors I didn't use. I just need to go get an Arduino and mess with it. Okay, we have sounds. We just don't know where anybody is. So that's something. Let's try to get like a coordinate going. Let's do like, let's try to put one northeast. Northeast. Right? Yeah. That's basically up and to the right. Let's do 5 and 5. Oh, not that many. All right. The problem was wrong sound design. You know, it's interesting. I wonder if you could, there should be a way to say, hey, load this sound, but just play it as mono. But I can process all the sounds. I wonder if that's also why they weren't playing in the tests. Ah, yes, perfect little arena for the fights. Okay, so that kind of put it back. Okay, so a positive number moves it behind you. So a negative number should move it in front. Because I think it's a positive versus a negative. Let's do relative to the listener next. And let's keep that same coordinate. Yeah, let's give that same coordinate. And then C. All right, can't find anybody in that. We got to work on the map generation next. It's close. It's just missing a little bit of the algorithm to make sure things are connected. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it's still back. Okay. So does it use negative coordinates? You know what? Let's throw in a Z. But let's default it. Is that where we do default? I always get confused. And then let's go back to systems. Let me think. Let's try negative. Two negative numbers. Yeah, of course I did that all wrong. Yeah. Interesting. I can't say the link because I'm blocking it. Email it to me, Billy. I'll check that out. So Loud has info? Ooh, okay. I mean, I guess like I'll learn OpenAL. I tried to learn it. I was like, oh, this is such garbage. Like, they made it sound, because I know I did music. I did a lot of sound engineering stuff. I know how sound works. But they're trying to add a graphic concept to sound, and that's not really how sound works. Okay, so this is -5, -5. Okay, it's kind of using negative numbers. But it's still putting that shit behind me. Okay. Alright, so I think just got to sort out the coordinates. Okay, so what if we do, let's say like 50. No, 50 is going to be too much. Let's do 10. So I guess negative numbers move it right. You had posted this, Billy. Let me look at what you said. Yeah, negatives is right to listener. No, negative was left of listener. This seems like it's backwards. Yeah, Prime Yoda. I stream every day. So yeah, just throw in a follow. You'll see me. And I announce it on my Twitter. But pretty much every day at 4 p.m. my time, I'm in Florida, so EST. Okay, let's see what 10 does. What does 10 do? All right, so I think we've got some kind of idea for it. We just got to sort out where enemies are and then how that relates to the sound, or how the coordinates fit the enemies. Yeah, for some reason I hear everything is behind me. Are they using Z-axis as like this? Are they using Z-axis for panning? Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. They are. I bet they're using Z-axis. So everything is behind me because the Z-axis is 0. Oh my god. Alright, here we go. Let's give it a 10 Z-axis. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, X is right. Y should be up. Oh. Z is this way. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Z should be elevation. Z is front to back. Ah. Oh. Okay, I gotta go. Why? Okay, so that's what... Alright, yeah, I'm an idiot. Z order is distance from you to a target. Y is elevation. I'm altering the Y. I need to be altering the Z. Okay, alright, that makes sense. Okay, that's doing some stuff. So Y is elevation. Y needs to be 0. And this needs to be 5 to move something in front. So what we really want to do is X and Z, right? But this is sort of like, this is what was really confusing me when I'm playing like Core Keeper. It was really using, up and down to show like if I was like this and my character was here and the enemy was here, it sounded like they were above me, right? Like physically they were like on my roof. So I wonder if they're using Y for that. And what did you just say? Opposite for negatives. Yeah, Z is front to back. Okay. X is right and left. Y is up and down. Z is front to back. So if I do, that should be over there. All right, so my API design is just garbage. I shouldn't default a Z. All right, there we go. It moved it forward. It's no longer behind me anymore. Is that something? Kind of more like here. All right. Okay, so let me go back into this sound API. We're not going to do default parameter anymore. La 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 la. Here. And make sure the tests match. So now we just got to sort out, like, should Y be used at all? How does that actually sound? Like, if I want an enemy to, like, make a noise over there, do we basically do this? It's a 2D engine, so do we have basically X and Y? This becomes Z. No, this is X, this is X, and this becomes Z, right? Because it's moved up there, which would move it in front of me. Or is it Y? It moves up and down. So I think we just have to, like, give an enemy a sound and then have them move around and do that. All right, let's make one more change, and then I think we kind of got it. Yeah, so all sounds have to be mono in order for them to be positionable. And then once they're positionable, you can move them around, and then you have to either use the X and Y as it is, and then things are just above you, or you have to sort out translating to Z. Yeah, it's over there. Okay, cool. Let's do one more. Let me see. So that's there. I'm going to try to move it straight here. I'm going to put it right there. So that'd be 0 and... yeah, let's try it. I think that should do it. And so then, of course, if we have 0 right there, right? We could just create a bunch of coordinates, like an enum with the coordinates, or like just a set of coordinates already that are just north, south, east, west, and then done. Yeah, there we go. It's right there. Now, so does that make sense? Like if an enemy is up there, it's like this, or should it be the Y? So let's try that. Let's see if we can get an enemy in that position and see how that works visually. Y-axis, like about there. Or we'll try to find an enemy that is visually there, and then we'll see how that plays. The hand gestures for the coordinates. Okay. Here, let me give everybody this. Shoot me emails to that. I will appreciate any resources you find. Okay, so we want to get this guy above us. Oh, weird. All right, I killed him. Oh, well. I got to work on the direction of that. Yeah, I don't think that works. Interesting. I think we need like a 5Z and a 5Y. It's weird because 0Z seems to put it at the back of my skull. That's really weird. Wonder if that's something with my sound device, but my sound device should be fine. So yeah, we're looking to see, can we make it sound like it's like that, like it's up above me? And then how does that look? Or is a positive Y more down this way? Huh. That makes no sense. All right, I have to read up on OpenGL again. Maybe. But I hear it like this. Well, let's look visually. Let's look at that. Let's see. Is that what you think? Like, you're basically what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to translate visually, like just think and design a 2D coordinate system to a 3-dimensional headspace. And to me, something below me should be either it should sound like it's down here, right? Or behind me. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I may have to play like other 2D games with good sound and then take notes or record it and then listen. Like, okay, where my character was here, what did they do? Let's see, what did you suggest? Yeah, let's try this. Let's try that. 0 there. Let's do 1 there. Yeah, because I'm thinking, is the 2D plane basically like this? Is it like a hat? And enemies are just like that? Or is it more like a face mask, right? Where like enemies above me are like this and enemies below me are down. Yeah, okay, so think about this. Like, think about it like this. We're going to have enemies that are below us. So the enemy's down there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to sort that out. Anyway, so I think, I think another thing that comes up is your character doesn't really have a direction that they're facing. So I might have to go look at another game and see how they do that too. Well, that's the thing is currently the Y is what you suggested, 1F. If for me, it sounds like it's here. So far, I haven't actually heard it go up and down. The second you set Y, it just puts it back there. So I think doing sounds and making them sound like they're going like this is actually pretty difficult. Like I know I was playing Fallout 4 and I had a hard time because there'd be all these enemies that are above me, but I'm like, what the hell are they? Because Fallout 4 was kind of before, I think they didn't figure out how to make spatial sound right. So the enemy is this way on the XZ axis. You have no idea where they are on the Y axis. Let's try your negative idea. Yeah, I don't know, man. Y doesn't do shit. I think Y just doesn't work. Let me think. Close your eyes. Let's go find that other enemy. Okay, Okay, so this enemy is in front of me, but close your eyes. Tell me if you think the sound is like above or below you. Yeah, it didn't sound like it. Yeah, weird, right? It just sounds like it's on the same plane. All right. Well, anyways, we got stuff working. We got fun stuff. So now we just have to sort out this part of it. Let's put it at 0. Let me go confirm. Oh. All right. So this part, I have to sort out this one. Yeah, because there's going to be multiple sounds for every enemy. So we're probably going to need to be able to take the sound and reposition it. I'm also not quite sure how it's pulling this off. So if I just set the position, play it, and then set it back to 0, does that fix it? So yeah, we'll have to sort that part out. So let's just do this. And by default, it's playing it back here. So that'd be another thing that we'd need to sort out. Bass practice. Awesome. All right. Yeah, I'm going to sign off here pretty soon too. So I will see everybody tomorrow. When you get this build compiled, I'll check the code in and drop the link, and then back to work myself. Let's see what we got. All right, so just basic sound. We could set a default position. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good right there. Let me bring this back. And then I'll commit, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Gotta go get some food. I think I'll go get tacos. All right. Yeah, it's coming along. We got like a game. Yeah, just have to sort out directionality, right? Like moving up does what, moving down does what. Otherwise, yep, we got ourselves quite a lot. That's actually a lot of good stuff. A more capable renderer will also help. All right, let's get this committed. Now let's get the music back on while we close out the session. All right, that's where that is. Oh, well, Oh, so that's having an issue. Oh, I might have gone to the wrong place. There we go. All right, if everyone wants to check that out and play with it and everything, here is the code. All right, yeah, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Billy, Eberman, Prime Yoda, anybody else who's there. I will see you tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Unless something comes up, and I announce on my Twitter, and if you're in my my courses chat, I do it there too. All right. So enjoy the music. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh.